We're going.
We're ready.
It's car talk number 2, Melinda.
That's right. I'm ready. Let's go.
All right. We have a topic today. Actually, this topic was requested. If you can believe it, we actually have an official request. So we are going to do, we're going to talk about letting go today. I don't even know where we're supposed to look. Do you kind of know where we're supposed to look?
Well, let's see.
Where is
Can
the
you
camera?
tell that we're old? I think it's up here. No,
No?
I think it's over here.
Well, y'all, if we're looking all crazy-fied, we don't know what we're doing. But our topic is, I'm bringing it back down serious, letting go. And I feel like we should introduce this by singing the song
You should sing a song.
of
not
every
me.
little girl in the country, and probably every other country. Let it go,
Let it go.
But we won't do that because those are actually only 2 words I know, or 3 words of the whole song I know. We're talking about letting go, but you could let it go.
That's
you know
right.
what I'm saying? So maybe moms need to sing that song just as much as little girls, girls and princes training.
Moms of kids that are about to graduate, especially.
Yes. But you know what we're going to talk about?
First. Something else.
Well, letting them go even younger too. Like there's steps of letting them go so that you can really let them go later. We're going to get to that in a little while. Okay, so you know we're Tammy and Melinda from Soul Food, and we have a desire to reach out to women in our community and outside of our community through just having a Facebook community, and sometimes we like to get together in person too, you know,
Right.
and that will usually revolve around real food, you know. So that's why
Coffee.
that's where we got the term soul food, because it's about food for the soul and food for your body. So with that, we're going to start off with giving a shout out to Miss Marcia Stringer. Marcia Mama is what I've known her, and many other gals our age
Yes.
have grown up underneath her.
To know Marcia is to love her.
Absolutely. She has poured her life into so many young women, especially when we were just starting out in motherhood and marriage. She would have us over to her house and teach us Bible studies, and there would be food a lot of times cooking on the stove, and there was this one particular soup she would make, and so I've just named it Mama Marcia's soup. It's super easy, but it just tastes like love. Does that make sense?
It does.
It tastes like love. So because
And
I've made,
hopefully it's really simple. Is it really
it's
simple?
super
I hope
simple.
it's simple.
And I'm gonna, as a tribute to her, I'm going to, and a favor to y'all, I'm going to post that in the comment section below. I'm making it tonight on this nice cold night. It's a perfect night to think of Mama Marcia, her soup. Our family has renamed it to Mama Marcia's I Love You soup. Okay, so this is the soup that if you've had surgery or if you're sick and you're someone that we're taking food to, you're going to get this soup, and when you get this soup from us, it means I love you. Like, let's get that little advertisement off there. Okay, so anyway, I'm going to put it in the link below, and then I'll show you a picture of it, maybe a video of it when it's
that'd
all
be good.
when we're kind of snacking on it. Anyway, with some Jiffy cornbread, because you know we're not doing it by scratch, right, ladies? Y'all know. So
Free yourself.
absolutely, because we're still working around our
Budget. Our word for the year, budget.
budgeting our
Creating
time.
margin in your life so that you can do the things that really matter.
So what have you done, Melinda? What are you working on with your budgeting? What's going on?
Well, you know, I've started exercising around the neighborhood instead
Okay.
of going to a gym or different
Okay.
places. That just works for me because I can hop out the door and go in the neighborhood and then get back home and finish wrapping up whatever on the stove
Yes.
or whatever.
Yeah.
And I just couldn't make it work to try to go before work or try to go after work. And so that's just kind of something that just snips some edges on my time.
Yeah,
You know,
I see Stan too running around.
he does.
Y'all do
He does.
good.
Cuts
Well,
the
I'll
budget
show
too
you-
because we're not paying for membership anywhere
That's
right now. so,
true.
you know.
Budget.
That's
Okay,
right.
here's my budget. You like them? Kiss, Kiss nails, glue on nails. Now, I love me some Nam and Lily at Spa Concepts. They are the best. Fingers and toes, I'm not gonna lie, but I'm having a budget because I don't have time, and keeping up my nails and my toes it's just impossible right now with my schedule. So I got some serious man hands. I ain't gonna lie, there's some serious man hands.
This
so
is what it looks like when you don't have them on.
You wear
I
them
use them too,
sometimes.
but today, no.
okay, so here for $5 to $7. You get this nice package. You glue on your nails. They look pretty darn good. Don't look too close, but they do. They look good from a distance. I just wear them over the weekend. I don't need them to last during the week because I'm a dental hygienist, and of course I can't be scaling like this. So
I would say,
you know,
at the most, they last maybe like 6 days. You
think so?
Some
I've
people
never
have
made
them,
it to 6.
Yeah, most people don't.
But
Most
you
people
can.
3, but
Yeah,
some
yeah.
5 or 6.
I
Our
know.
friend Shannon says
our
6,
group of
but-
ladies, we are into our fake fingernails, like gluing them on ourselves.
If
right
you
now.
know anybody with Kiss Nails, we want to do a commercial for them.
That's right.
So-
Kiss Nails, call us. We're your girls.
We're
call
ready.
us. That's right. So anyway, so Kiss Nails is one of the ways. And okay, so like I said, I can't have long nails during the week because I'm cleaning teeth.
Right.
So I did a little investment, but to save money, I got me a gel nail set for the house. Yeah, a light and everything. So during the week I have short nails and I paint my little gel nail set. I'm gonna have to do
Okay, so
yours.
I live in the neighborhood,
Yeah.
which means I can just whip around here.
Sounds good.
And do some gel nails.
Yes.
Okay.
Now I'm not perfect at it just yet, but they'll get you through a few days and they look shiny and pretty. So I'm hoping that'll save me some time and money. Okay. So
Sounds
that's
good.
how I'm kind of keeping one of my ways. Also, I'm also exercising from the house too with some apps. There's some good stuff out there.
yes, good
Nike
stuff.
app. So that's good. Okay. So, we've talked about the food that we part of this journey, and so now we're going to add another little aspect to our journey. I got some sticking up hairs. We're going to add another little aspect to our car talk. We got a lot of negativity going on right now. Seems to be everywhere on social media. Like the political thing is just enough to suffocate
It's over
us,
the
don't
top.
you think?
It's over the top.
So every time I'm seeing a little something positive, something that I think I could just kind of picture God looking down on and smiling about, just kind of bringing a smile to the Father's heart, it kind of sticks with me because I guess I'm really starving for some positivity right now. So I caught a couple of these things with my camera this week. I just caught them, unbeknownst, however that word goes. Is that how you say that? Unbeknownst.
Unbeknownst.
What the heck? Can you even spell that?
No, but
Why
I
is
can
that
say
a word?
it.
Unbeknownst. Okay. So, without the people knowing, we're just going to say that. I kind of took a couple pictures of a couple things that I just thought was really sweet.
Okay, show us.
So, this is the first one. I'm assuming. You see this? This is,
Where,
I
is that
sit behind them
Tammy?
at church. I think this is, from what I can tell, a daughter and a mother. And she brings her to church every Sunday in that wheelchair.
In her wheelchair.
Yes, and I noticed a couple weeks ago, or the week before that, that while it was kind of during the greeting time, she was brushing her mother's hair. And it was so sweet and so gentle and precious, and she wanted her to look pretty for the service, and it touched me. I mean, it really did. And I thought, there are a lot of people in this church that are dressed in the finest things. Our church is very nice. There's lots of lights, and it feels good to be there because it is a pretty place. But there was really nothing prettier happening in that church.
That little
No
moment right
one was prettier in that church than
That's
that
sweet.
little mama and that daughter, I'm assuming, whoever she is, a relative, brushing and caring for her hair. And then the next week they come and they're sitting right up in front of me. Now, I've never seen their faces really, so I only know them from behind, and so this week, girl, they were matching. Did y'all see that? They came to church wearing matching clothes. Now I just think that's the cutest thing. Can you imagine? Look at that.
Black and red chicks. Yep.
Yeah. Okay.
That's
I'm
crazy.
just saying. I got 6 kids. Girl, I got 6 kids.
I know you got
One of
6
y'all
kids, Tammy.
better be wheeling me into church when I came
With some matching
I
clothes.
know. Or making sure our hair's cute and all that kind of mean, taking care of us. That's that just warmed my heart. Honestly, I'm being silly about it, but it is
That is
precious that you did. The other thing is, when I was coming home after taking my kids to school one morning, I saw this. You can see that. That is a trash can. It was on trash day. And one of my sweet neighbors, I don't even know who lives in this house. I'm kind of not able to focus it too good. Look at those Kiss nails. I'm bringing it in. Ooh.
Oh, they put a drink and some snacks on there.
Crush, girl. They put for the trash men. And it's some
That
peanut butter
is
crackers and
so
some
sweet.
and some cinnamon roll things or whatever that. What are those things? Like
okay.
sweet cakes or what are those? Anyway.
Oh yeah, I don't don't know what that is, but it looks really good.
And don't you know how
I'm sure they were yummy.
that put a smile on their face? So it's the simple things, and they didn't mean for anybody to see this, just me. I just saw this and just thought that's so sweet.
Well, and you know what? You talk about the kindness thing or whatever, and all the negativity in the world. Whatever we train ourselves to start looking for, we start seeing it at a lot of
Very
other
good.
places,
Yeah,
you know. And I think to
yeah.
myself, if all you see or hear about is negativity, it's just like zooms. You know, we see all the negativity, but if you start really looking for stuff like that,
Right.
you start seeing it in more places.
Right.
So,
Very true.
what are we going to do about people that
Okay.
want to join us in this search for?
So
kindness?
we like to kind of hang out, drink coffee sometimes, and of course, you know, we like to talk in our car. So we would like to invite you to yourself go around, take pictures of simple acts of kindness that you see out in our community.
Be a kindness spy.
Oh, that's good. Kindness spy.
Do you like it?
Mhm.
I like
do like that. Okay, kindness spies. Take your pictures, put them down in the comments below on our Soul Food page or wherever you see this post. We don't really respond to YouTube comments. In fact, so if you want to,
We may not see it if it's
yeah,
there. So
that's
make sure
right.
you put it in Soul
right,
Food.
put it in the Soul Food Facebook. That's more where the community is. Okay, but I know some of these videos are viewed through YouTube, but that's just
Right.
because they're pretty long, and so that's the only way I can get them to upload on the Facebook page. So put it down in there, and what we're gonna do is whoever, if it's 1, 2, 3, 10, however 20, we're going to put their names in a little cup, and we're going to draw, and we're going to invite you to go to be on our next car talk with
Car
us
Talk
and go
with
for
Tammy
coffee.
and Melinda.
Oh yeah, we got to come up with a cute saying.
Yeah.
Coffee and car talk
With Tammy and Melinda.
with Tammy and Melinda. Hey, if you don't want to,
my
you can just
gosh.
sit in the car. We're not going to make you feel uncomfortable, but if you'd like to hang
Look,
out
you
with
can be
us,
right back there, right
that's
between
right.
us, and just watch.
That's right. And if you don't actually like live locally, we're going to FaceTime you in, sister.
That's
Mhm.
right.
Or brother. We make
Nobody's
it-
excluded.
That's exactly right. We will make it work. But you got to put your pictures down there in the comment, and then that's how we know you want to be put into this. Okay, so back to our topic today, getting serious. We're talking about letting go, mainly from a maternal perspective, a parental perspective. It's kind of been brought on because, just in a real quick nutshell, last week my 18-year-old son swore in, whatever
Did his
you
oath.
do, yeah, you do, for the Marine Reserve. So he has sworn 6 years of his life for service for that. We're very, very proud, but it happened really quick. Like, he talked to us about it for maybe like a week, and then
All of a sudden, it was here.
within 1 week's time he signed in. I mean, we got one night's notice, like a text, and the next morning, you know, saying tomorrow I'm doing this,
That's the day.
basically. Yeah, so that took some soul searching and some, you know, through a few tears and all that kind of stuff. It's just reminded me again, he's not the first child I've had to let go, for sure, but this one happened a little quicker than what I ever really
It's a different
anticipated.
kind of letting go, too,
Yes,
you know, so-
absolutely. So we got to thinking, and then we got we're kind of talking about it because I think you have a son, possibly maybe
do.
thinking the same thing.
Already kind of started the ball rolling, just hasn't officially signed anything, but we're in the same boat, you know,
Right,
definitely out there
right.
on the military track.
Right.
So.
And even if your kid is just, you know, maybe getting ready to go to college a little further away than you would have wanted them to go, maybe they're choosing a major you don't think that's what they should choose. There's a lot of different things that we have to
a
learn.
lot of different ways to let go.
To lighten your grip and let them go. You know, I kind of think that I have, especially in the past, had a really, really bad case of gripitis. I mean, I know you've never heard of that because it really
She
didn't
just made it
exist.
up, is why you've never heard of it.
But gripitis is what I've had. And I would like to say, hi, I'm Tammy, and I'm a former gripitis. Truly.
Not
I have,
former, really. We're probably still
yes,
kinda working through it.
very much so.
Yeah.
Okay, so I have homeschooled my kids for many, many years in the past. This is not a dish on homeschooling. It's very, very wonderful. But for me, it was a way of thinking I could just hold them, can't hardly see it, hold them so tight in my grasp, you know, have a grip on them. And I had this strange notion raising my children, reading all these books. I read every pretty much Christian book that you could get your hands on parenting. So I had this notion that if I did everything right, they would turn, if I did this, and this, they would definitely turn out like this.
Like you could control the outcome of your
oh
children.
my gosh. Well, here's the funny thing. Half of those people, like, I'm going to just go ahead and say more than half of them, these Christian authors that wrote the books, half of them are divorced. Their kids have just as many issues as the rest of our kids. So it's taken me this long, many mistakes. God bless my oldest children. They were an experiment, you know, to realize I cannot control the outcome of my children. I can't even control the outcome of my own life. So this thought of having total control, if you raise your kids in a certain way, it's an illusion.
It's a myth. It's an illusion. And also, you know, I think sometimes we have plans for our kids that are our plans for our kids. You know, I mean, we have, you know, when you hold that baby in your arms, you have dreams and you have ideas, and maybe you don't necessarily feel like you've imposed those on your kids, but at the same time, when it gets time for them to choose their own path, it's scary and sometimes disappointing when they choose a road that wasn't the one that we had imagined all of our lives, you know, and then we have to kind of process through that and figure out, you know what, it's their path. And like you said, there's really not a way that we can take all these certain steps and just ensure that they're going to take the road that we would have wanted for them to.
Exactly. So we've got to learn how to be okay in and of ourselves with our walk with the Lord, with people,
releasing them to their Creator.
Exactly. You know, because He's theirs more than ours.
That's the thing that's come to me this week, listening to your comments about your son, and then me processing through, you know, my son, is that we talked in our last car talk about the concept of budgeting, and I made the reference to the fact that God gives us certain things to be stewards over, that they're not really ours, whether it's your money or your time or whatever, but in reality, that's true even of our kids. He gives us our kids, but they're not really ours. They're His, and He lets us be the kind of the overseers for a while or whatever, but they belong to Him. And so when we get to this stage and we're letting go, we're doing what we intended from the beginning. It's sad. A few weeks ago, Landrum had this assignment with school, where actually it was an assignment for the parents, and I didn't find out about it until the night before it was due. And it was this writing that we were supposed to do about either giving some sort of encouragement or advice that we would give to our kids, but they're not going to get a copy of it until the end of school. And so I was going to kind of just try to rush through because it was late at night and I was tired and I didn't know about it, you know, until the last minute. But then as I sat there and started thinking about what do I want my son to hear from me when I'm not there anymore, then I started thinking about all of the seasons that have led up to this one and just this whole concept. And I did get a feeling of sadness and even some feelings of fear, but then it hit me. This is what we do as parents. We spend all of those seasons leading up to this making deposits and investments into our kids so that they can then go on and be who God made them to be. And that's what we're doing, is letting them go to be the people that God created them to be, even if the path looks a little bit different than...
And if the path is, if they mess up.
That's exactly right.
I mean, if they mess up, that's how they learn, you know what I mean? That's how they learn. And then sometimes, I mean, you just have to be willing to know they're going to fail. They may never
be on the path you wanted.
That's exactly right.
Well, and I love that, the concept of a GPS too. You know, when you get off the path with the GPS, it reroutes you, you know. Now your journey may be a little bit longer to get back, but there's always a way back. And that's one thing we want our kids to know when they leave, is there's always a road back.
Right. So to make it where they feel like they can ever come back, we have to offer grace to our kids, and we can't keep such a strong thumb on them. And that is a lesson I've had to learn the hard way. You know, like, I know we need to hold them pretty tight when they're younger, but there are times you can start letting go. Even you can practice that when they're younger. You can let them fail. I mean, it's hard to imagine, but you can actually let a child feel some pain along the way. Don't try to rescue them from everything. speaking from a professional rescuer. I cannot tell you the situations I rescued my older children from constantly. If I didn't think a teacher was speaking to them correctly, I'd have a class change. Heck, I'd change a school. Lord, that's a whole nother car talk in and of itself. And
We'll save that for later.
yes, we will. But I'm just saying, I think that it's wise to let them experience some things along the way.
That's right.
So that they
Well,
can.
and I think about all that. Go ahead and finish what you're saying.
I didn't forget now what you're saying. I forgot.
I think. Look, I'm about to
Which is
forget
why
what I
I'm
was going to
taking
say.
brain pills.
I know. We highly recommend that, by the way. Seriously, I totally did just lose my train of thought. So now you have to figure out what you were going to say.
Okay, well, I can tell you this right here.
Oh, yeah,
I worked with this lady. I don't even know if I was going to bring it up, but I worked with this lady for years. And she, every time I'd ask some advice, dang, she had like a pet phrase. It's like some serious, like, advice that she could give. And I'm like, how the heck do you have all this wisdom?
Right.
Well, it turns out, she shared with me, it came from a lot of heartache. So she had a family member that had an addiction situation. And so because of that addiction, she was in Al-Anon. So that's for
Family members too, yeah.
family members of addiction. So she told me the names of these books that they would read and talk about, and that she had devotionals and type things. So while I wasn't in that situation, you know, and who knows, maybe one day we will be, but I still loved the things. I would always be like, now what did you say? And trying to write it down. So I just went ahead, like on eBay, and found somebody's books and ordered them. So it just so happened to be, this is one of them, and it's called The Language of Letting
Letting Go.
I know, let it go. Well, letting go. So I found this right around this time, this devotional in here, which it doesn't really so much have to do with the kid part. And some of you watching this may not really relate to the kid part of this, letting go. There's so many other
things we think we have control over.
Exactly. Whether it's jobs, whether it's another family member, it may not be our child, it may be an in-law. It could just be anybody. So what I was thinking, I might just read this devotional that this person wrote in this book, which has a lot of good wisdom. I recommend it, especially if you have a family member that has some type of addiction too. So I'm just going to read it. I don't know who exactly this might be speaking to, but if you find yourself needing to hear these words, this goes along the lines of trying to give up all power and everything, you know. So it's called Powerlessness and Unmanageability. Willpower is not likely the key to the way of life we are seeking. Surrender is, which is
totally
hard and
counterintuitive and countercultural.
Yes. I've spent much of my life trying to make people be, do, or feel something they aren't, don't want to do, and choose not to feel. I have made them and myself crazy in that process, said one recovering woman. I spent my childhood trying to make an alcoholic father who didn't love himself be a normal person who loved me. Then I married an alcoholic and spent a decade trying to make him stop drinking. I have spent years trying to make emotionally unavailable people be emotionally present for me. And going to back to kids, a lot of times we use our children to fill us and our emotional tanks.
And that's why when they don't do or become what we want, it's such a disappointment or even an embarrassment in some cases to us, because they are an extension of our image or our
ego.
You know, that's right.
Okay, so I have spent even more years trying to make family members who are content feeling miserable happy. I could totally go on and on about this. I will just say that making chocolate pies to win the love of a family member does not work. Just believe it from me, okay? Just take that from me. I tried the chocolate pie route. That didn't work. That person,
some people are content
never
to
came
be unhappy.
around. They're not
That's
even on the earth anymore. They passed away, and there wasn't enough pies to make them love us, you know. All right, what I'm saying is this: I've spent much of my life desperately and vainly trying to do the impossible and feeling like a failure when I couldn't. It's been like planting corn and trying to make the seeds grow peas. It won't work. So by surrendering to powerlessness, I gain the presence of mind to stop wasting my time and energy trying to change and control that which I cannot change and control. It gives me permission to stop trying to do impossible and focus on what is possible. Being who I am, loving myself, feeling what I feel, and doing what I want to do with my life. In recovery, we learn to stop fighting lions simply because we cannot win. We also learn that the more we are focused on controlling and changing others, the more unmanageable our life becomes. The more we focus on living our own life, the more we have a life to live, and the more manageable our life will become. Today, I will accept powerlessness where I have no power to change things, and I will allow my life to become manageable. So basically, how I relate this is we are powerless to completely navigate our children's lives, no matter what they choose. Our job, Melinda, don't you think, is strictly to be a place of love for them once they get to a certain adult type
Right,
age.
because like I said, we've already made those investments and those deposits all through the years.
So give them love.
Right.
Be a place where they can feel love so they can come to us with certain things. I'm not saying I'm there with every one of my kids. They don't run to me with their problems and anything like that, but I do want them to feel love. And but I'm going to give up this urge that I have as a mother and have always had to manipulate and control every situation, because that pushes our kids further away.
It does. And this is a life lesson, not just about kids, but in general, particularly for those of us who are believers, because even though it's really hard to wrap our minds around, the pathway to freedom is not being able to control and know all things. It's to surrender those things to God. And it's just really, really hard to do, but that is the pathway to the greatest free, blessed life, is being able to give up. I think even about Abraham and Isaac, ultimately God didn't require his son, but he did require the willingness to let it go, and to release him to the Father. And God had better plans in the end anyway. And that's really the lesson for us as moms or as parents, is God's care and compassion and direction for our kids is far better than anything we can ever offer them in our flawed mama state.
Very true. So gals, surrender. We're going to surrender this week.
Keep your budget. Yes, surrender.
Yeah.
Keep your budget.
Post your pictures of
kindness spies.
Kindness spies. That's it. I love that. Okay, kindness spies. And we will get back with you very soon. We have other things kind of cooking in our mind, and we're excited to share those with you. So let us hear from you guys. And sorry this kind of ran long today. So
thanks for taking time.
Absolutely. God bless you guys.